What's going on YouTube? Zach is back bringing you the Pokemon Unite replay commentary. I got a wild one for you today. As you can see by our team, that this is not going to be a normal match, right? We've got Sableye, Espeon, Scissor, Zoroark, and Comfey. This means we have two unconventional supports and have really weird team fights. So my mindset going in is let's just navigate this chaos. Let's survive this chaos and maybe have some fun in it while we're at it. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Hope you enjoy this game. If you do, leave a like. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, without further ado, we'll get into it in just a moment. Enemy team is much more aligned properly, but they only have one helper. So theoretically, if our supporters can do well, we can have good lanes early on. But as we're going to see, some really weird shit's about to go down like from the very beginning. So Scissor wants to go top with Comfey, I figure that's fine. But then we have Sableye doing jungle. So I'm bottom by myself right now. This is not ideal. You generally want to be at the lane at this point. But we have Zoroark, Scyther top when it should have been Zoroark bottom with me probably instead of Comfey. But that's okay, because check this out. Espeon's last hit is so good, like I talked about in my guide. Pow, pow. 2 easy last hits, just like that. Espeon has really good last hit even as an EV. Probably one of the best EVs. As a result, it's always my favorite to play. And I'm going stored power this game, anticipating there and more mobile Pokemon trying to be a problem for me. We'll see how that plays out later on and how that helps, but that's generally my philosophy when I do pick stored power. Otherwise, if I think I can aim my moves well enough, I like to go for Psyshock instead. Pretty much games where they're more mobile are going to be the same games where you're not able to land your shot anyway, right? Whereas if they're less mobile, you're more able to land your shot, so you don't need stored power, and then you can make use of the Psyshock instead. And then, as I talked about in my guide as well, to compensate, I like to run Sidebeam usually, which I am running this game with this. But this first team fight goes very, very well thanks to our gank. We just come bottom as a bunch of Pokemon and manage to take them out. And this is sort of how you have to make the most of teams like this, I think, is just make use of the fact that your lineup isn't going to play the game in a normal way, and don't play the game in a normal way, you know? You can really punish teams that are a bit more traditional leaning that way. Not always, of course. I mean, teams with good sense generally succeed, but that was a good example of how you can make use of a team like this. Using the AoE damage of Psybeam there, I'm able to harass Buzzwole a little bit. It's a big component of Psybeam that makes it really nice too. That and stored power gives you really good team damage in team fights, since you can be hitting a lot of Pokemon with both of your moves. And it also gives you decent farming speed with stored power, which is generally a problem. Here I decided to go mid and check on Regidrago. Seeing that it's low and I have a good last hit in Psybeam, I decided to play near. Just get ready. And I make use of the AoE damage to get it there. They take me out right afterwards, unfortunately, but I am able to manufacture a trade with Machoke, which is really, really nice in situations like that. So at the objective, and we traded Pokemon, so in the end, it's still a net positive for us. I decided to return bottom because we won that lane first, and as you know, I like to win the lane that you win. Especially when it's a Regilucky down there, that's a good reason to be down here. But with my Comfey running Sweet Kiss and not a healing move, I don't really want him on me very often, so quite honestly, our tenure together here is somewhat questionable. Nonetheless, we have the Lucky coming up soon, and even with just these two moves, Espeon has good Rip. Here I kind of want the Comfey just to go help the Scissor while I start working on this. Remember, as an attacker, even if you're by yourself as a mage, you still have good damage, and if you outplay the boss Pokemon's attacks, you can easily stay alive long enough for an ally to come and help you out, especially if you're at full HP. Right afterwards, though, I decided to book it straight top. I don't really have any interest in pushing, and I don't really want to get caught up by that guy either. Seeing that I found the real Greninja, I decided to follow just a little bit, that way I can take control of the far bush and pressure him away from the area. Oh, my cat's appearing with their ball right now. If you hear a little clicking sound in the background, that's what that is. But anyway, again, making use of the fact that we have a really unconventional team with something like Sableye, we can just score really aggressively and get all their gold pads really early on, right? One of the advantages that you can manufacture with a team like this is having a lead at Groudon. So even if your team struggles with team fights in general, you don't need a team fight necessarily. You can just pick them apart and win in solo engagements. But it all depends on how the rest of the game goes. You know, right now my thought is, I can't believe we got this far. I don't want to lose it, so, you know, just play safe, get some farm. Unfortunately, the horse catches me, and that's pretty much a death matchup if he ults you. So if that happens, don't feel bad about it. It's pretty common, and it's pretty much what he's supposed to do. But it looks like our amalgamation of random abilities bottom is ending up positive for us, which is really good. I'm going to help you link with more Pokemon, and the horse was top, and as we just saw, I don't want to be anywhere near the horse. But with the farm mid, I just want to check one more time and see if it's there. Soaking up farm as Espeon is really quick and easy, and it helps you keep consistent levels, which is good for an EV, because EVs are strong at all points in the game, so you want to be getting your level timings if you can. Yeah, you can see how hard it is for us to be able to get the horse right now. Our lineup has a really hard time dealing with it. Really, we have to rely on Sableye or Comfy to catch it. Here I'm just throwing what damage I can from a distance, trying to add to the engagement positively if I can. Ulting there is a side of last resort, but as you can see, when the fights are going more the enemy team's way, it's really hard for us to get anything. This is sort of what fights are going to look like on average in my estimation when I look at our lineup like this. It's like we have an unconventional lineup, so their team fights are going to be way easier than ours. And it's showing already, right? So I'm less concerned about trying to make every single team fight work than I am just trying to win these engagements that we're supposed to win. Like, if he's in there in a jungle, low HP, just get him, you know? Oh, the next objective top, though, and our Zoroark relatively near, I decided to start hitting it, hoping that he will catch up with me shortly. As I talked about before, if you're decent HP at all as an attacker, you can solo these things. They're not hard to do. So I don't mind doing it by myself for the most part, but I do want someone else here in case they come trying to steal it. So I am glad that my teammates do eventually show up. And with that out of the way, we head to the next objective mid. And this is sort of how you're supposed to be playing the new map, as I've talked about so many times. You just go from objective to objective. That's how you gain XP advantage. That's how you snowball a lead. Unfortunately, my teammates get caught up in a fight over here. And by the time I come to help them, it's a little too late to actually contribute anything meaningfully. Nonetheless, I still try, but with just Sableye left, it's not really possible for me to do anything, and I don't really want to risk dying on the objective, so I decided to just fall back and farm our farm, make sure the enemy team can't steal it since they were trying to before. Anytime I consider jungle farm a contested objective, I don't mind taking my jungler's buffs. It just makes sense. I'd rather I have it and the enemy team have it, you know what I mean? And soaking up farm like this on the map is really easy in Espeon, as I talked about before. Helps us get to 12 and 13 potentially before Groudon, which is really nice. I see there's a big fight going on, but I decided that levels are still more important right now. The main reason being that my plus move is really important. Getting both your plus moves on Espeon gives you a lot of bleeding and damage potential on your own, which is really important for being able to finish off low HP targets. And it's sort of Espeon's job in the late game as a hunter. I think, anyway. Nonetheless, the fight has gone on long enough that by now, I think I do need to come and help a little bit. I'm not able to get to the Machamp soon enough, unfortunately. But we are able to fight him a little bit. Unfortunately, with Unstoppable, he's not stopped by our guy's attacks. But if that guy goes on someone else besides me, I can definitely help fight. So I decided to just play the fringes of the fight. Again, doing what attackers do best, just adding damage where I can. Ulting here while that guy's in his ult so I can buy some time. Don't let anyone get too close to me, keep my distance. Use stored power for what it's meant to be used for, right? It gives you that distance right away when you use it. It's really valuable in Pokemon like Espeon, who want to keep their distance and want to chase people down sometimes. Like that. Lets you play the fights very flexibly, and you can see why I picked it this game, I think, over Psyshock. Although it would definitely have helped more there against the guy in the bush. But I buy enough time for our teammates to finish the objective. Since my rip isn't that great anyway, I decided to let our teammates that do have good rip finish it off. We can easily work together then and take out the enemy team. Again, this is how you want to be playing with Groudon buffs as much as possible. Just play as a team. The idea is that if you can always win every fight that you show up to as 5 people, because you all have damage buffs, then you'll always be able to just wipe them again. So don't split up, just play together and wipe them, and then score all your points when they're all dead. Even though I'm low HP, I decided to stay a little bit just because the enemy team is very distracted with my team and able to continue to add damage to these engagements. And we do manage to fully wipe them, so I get to score my points after all. That was very fun to be able to do. Score a little more as well. Always feels nice when these kinds of games when you've had a hard time against their horse, who just gets me again instantly. Like I said, if that guy ults you, you just lose. That's what happens when you play Espeon. Like, speedsters ult you and you die. I think I talked about it in my guide, probably. I'll probably link the guide at the end. I haven't talked about that one much, but as you can see, a lot of the stuff that I talked about in the guide applies here, and this is a really good game for Espeon indeed. And we did manage to make our wacky team comp work. We managed to forestall them long enough for us to get Groudon and win the game and score a bunch of points, and it was a fun match doing it too. Definitely unexpected at the start of the game, but it worked out much, much better than expected. That's why you don't give up. Play it to the end. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you being here. If you want to watch me play live, check the link in the description below for my Twitch page. Let me know in the comments what sort of stuff you want to see in future videos. And I don't really have much else. That's a lot of damage I dealt. 10 KOs too. Oh, so good, Zach, so good. Anyway, peace out, y'all.